Well, ladies and gentlemen, there is something very evil and nefarious with what the Democrats are currently doing. It's already come out that their main strategy is to not share any of their actual policies. That's why when you go to their campaign website, about 2 months, actually, at this point, less than 2 months before the 2024 election, you will not find a single policy. And not only that, they go and they take clips of JD Vance or Donald Trump and manipulate them and cut them. They will literally cut them. So JD Vance will be saying something, they will cut to him, and then he'll be saying something else. It's total manipulation. It's just complete dishonesty. But not only will the Kamala HQ, which is the total, every time I see the Kamala HQ, it's a lie. I swear to God, it's like, how much can one account lie? It's just when you see a tweet from Kamala HQ, I would say like there's a 99.9% chance it's a lie or it's dishonest or it's been like I'm not even kidding you. Like it is every single one, but it's not enough that the little fan account or whatever the account run by their campaign, Kamala HQ, they lie. You've got Tim Waltz, who's just so dishonest, such a clown. And listen, it doesn't even make sense to really get mad at Tim Waltz because I'm sure it's one of his staffers doing this, right? It is, but still, he's behind it technically. This is his account. He says, "This is pathetic. We can't quit on our kids. They deserve better." So he is quote tweeting something that is extremely, extremely dishonest in the way that it's phrased. Kamala HQ saying JD Vance responds to the shooting in Georgia by saying school shootings are just a fact of life and attacking common sense gun safety reform. So of course, with this shooting happening, it's just a terrible tragedy happening so close to the election. They are going to try and use it for political gain. And then the Tim Waltz account comes in and says, "How dare he? This is horrible." And he's quote tweeting something that's just taken completely out of context. Saying it's like this is the perfect definition: the blind leading the blind. The Kamala HQ blatantly lying about and misrepresenting what was being said, and then the blind Tim Waltz and the Tim Waltz then reacting to something that was completely taken out of context. That's not the way they're making it seem is not how it was, but he's reacting to it because he thinks, oh, the Kamala HQ, it's all gospel. And again, it's probably one of his staffers, but still, it is just ridiculous. And then you can see, of course, not only that, oh my goodness, we've got Kamala Harris saying that school shootings, this is like the same thing as the Arlington stuff. And by the way, I think the perfect scenario when you're talking about the Arlington and Trump using that for political gain, John McCain's son came out and said that the reason he wasn't voting for Trump, or I guess one of the reasons, this wasn't the only reason, but one of the reasons he wasn't voting for Trump was because of using Arlington, the cemetery, the sacred grounds for political gain. And then Trump supporters dug back and found a clip of John McCain, and there's obviously clips of Biden doing it as well, but there was a clip of John McCain, I think it was in the year 2000 when he was running for president or something, doing the exact same thing in a campaign ad. And that's why his son is saying he's not voting for Trump when he did the exact same thing. And so it's just the double standard. It's so absurd. And here's Kamala Harris. And again, it's one of the aides. It's not really her, but still, this is her account. School shootings are not just a fact of life. Once again, they're being dishonest on purpose. They are trying to manipulate people on purpose. This is absolute crap. And again, there's something very evil with doing this when you add the context of JD Vance. And it also is funny because JD Vance had something on his X account where he lists like 3 or 4 paragraphs in response to someone who was asking about, what he was saying. And it's just the transparency is unbelievable. Trump is doing another press conference. As I say that, Trump is doing his 3rd press conference today at noon. But it's like, this is just, how do people not see this? It's just like, it's so obvious. We have a scorecard even. And look, if you're a Democrat, that's whatever. But even top Democrats are getting embarrassed. There are like Democrat influencers, I'm not even kidding you, who are like, yeah, this is kind of embarrassing that she won't talk or do interviews. And then the one interview she did, it actually might even be more embarrassing. She had to have Waltz there. And this is just my speculation, because the Kamala campaign knew that whoever was going to get her first interview was going to get a bunch of views, they could leverage that. And so they probably had negotiations with CNN and MSNBC. And that's why they could say, all right, we'll do an interview with CNN, but the transcripts can't be released and it has to be edited and it can't be live. And so CNN's like, all right, well, we want the interview because it's going to get a lot of views, so we'll agree to those terms. Like, even when they do an interview, everything has to be perfect. And it's one interview to like 36 interviews, and this is 3 press conferences now to 0 press conferences. I understand if you're a Democrat, you're not going to vote for Trump, whatever. But if you're an independent, and this is why I keep thinking Trump's going to win, there is no way. They just will not talk. And then they sit there and they hide behind their accounts. And even this is fabricated. It's manipulated. This is not the context of what JD Vance was saying. This is absurd. And they all quote tweet it like, oh my God, they clutch their pearls. It's so bad. Why would he say this? He didn't say it. You're being manipulated by your own account. It's just absurd. And then you can see this is the senator from Minnesota, a photo with Waltz quote tweeting it, saying that, oh, can confirm, that Tim Waltz loves donuts. And, it's a nice interaction, right? They're at a mom and pop donut shop. It's beautiful. The only problem with it, it turns out that the bakery that they were referencing had to close after over 30 years due to Tim Waltz's COVID lockdowns. Just mind your own business. Isn't that what he said? Why didn't Tim just mind his own business and leave shops open? But no, it's just funny. You've also got this. This was pretty sweet. JD Vance. So this, you can see Charlie Kirk talking, I guess, with JD Vance a few days ago in Arizona, and this woman quoting it, asking about Vance's inaccurately, defining the problems family faces, offering solutions that make no sense. And look, for Vance to do this, or even if it was one of his supporters, or one of his staffers, excuse me, it's still, that's just 10 times better than anything that Harris or Waltz will do. Just the transparency, like, this is why everyone is coming together to defeat the evil communist regime and the enslavement. And that, there are a lot liberals. Look at the dream team that Trump's built. Good will always beat evil. Trump is just the team that he's putting together. He's an angel. Elon Musk is an angel. And they're trying to save the country. And this is really what America is about. Oh, in a single tweet, Vance has talked about more policy than the entirety of Harris's official web. Well, no. Honestly, to be fair, he probably could have just done one sentence and that would be more policy than the website. You could have just done one sentence. He could have done one sentence about policy and it'd be more than the website. That's how crazy it is. And then we've also got this. So, it's not enough that the Kamala HQ has to have the propaganda. It also has to be the AP, the Associated Press. JD Vance says school shootings are a fact of life, calls for better security. They deleted it because it was absurdly misleading, and the idea that the AP would tweet that is just ridiculous. And then the new one says that JD Vance says he laments that school shootings are a fact of life. He basically says that, this is very, sad that we're at this point here in America where it is a fact of life. Obviously, he didn't just say, oh, they're a fact of life now, tough luck, which is what they made it seem like. Not only the Kamala HQ, but also now the mainstream media, of course. They're not biased. No, they would never do that. Oh, wait, they did it. They did do that? Oh, I'm sorry. That was my bad. They deleted it, though. They deleted it. He says the U.S. needs to harden security to prevent more carnage and the school shooting. So maybe a little bit more of an accurate one where it adds the context of JD Vance saying that he's very sad that this has become a fact of life, not just that, the way it's worded, that it basically makes it seem like in the context of being a conservative, Vance is like, well, tough luck. It's a fact of life. It just is what it is. When in reality, he was saying that this is very sad at this point, where it's a fact of life and things like so obviously it was being misrepresented, and even MSNBC, or excuse me, the AP is misrepresenting it and saying that. You also do have this: Trump is favored by veterans over Harris by 10 percentage points. But no. Well, actually, this is very surprising that it's only 10 points. I'll be honest, but still, like, you would think that according to Kamala and that campaign, Trump disrespected the veterans by using it as a photo op, using Arlington as a photo op. Don't just forget all the families coming out with all the videos saying that they invited Trump to be there. They tried calling Biden and Harris, didn't even get a return phone call. And then on top, like, could you imagine just the disgustingness of people that lost their loved ones because of your incompetence, not even returning their phone call, and Donald Trump going to grieve with these people and then turning it around and trying to make it like Trump's the bad guy. And the mainstream media did that too. It wasn't just the Harris campaign. I saw headlines that were like, oh, Trump is using the, like, there was some headline, I forgot what it was, but it was just so disgusting. Like, when you see a headline and you're like, oh, like, it's just so manipulated for liberals. You've got Trump up by 7 here over Harris in Poly Market. That was last night, so maybe it's changed a little bit. Chuck Schumer, the cockroach, has come out and said, and listen, I'm surprised he said this because they've really stopped doing this narrative, but this is straight from 2016 playbook. Let's see what Chucky has to say.
The only way we're going to have a great future in America is if we welcome and embrace immigrants, the dreamers, and all of them, because our ultimate goal is to help the dreamers, but get a path to citizenship for all 11 million or however many undocumented.
and so they don't know, right? So remember, they kept saying 10 million, 10 million, 10 million. Now Chuck's up to 11. At least Chuck's up to 11, and he says he puts the qualifier. I don't know how many there actually are. But no, this is what they want. So I'm surprised he actually said it like this, because liberals have been trying to have this. To be honest, this is actual transparency. This is really what they want. The idea that they're going to be tough on the border is just absurd. They want all of the illegals that are already in the country to have citizenship, right? So the idea that they would be tough on the border, why would they be tough on the border if they're going to allow the people that already committed the crime of crossing the border illegally free citizenship with amnesty? Why would they be tough on the border? It doesn't make any sense. They're not going to be. They're just saying it because they're trying to get votes. So that's the reality of that situation. But yeah, little Chuck Schumer there. Trump on Waltz. I was so honored that his brother endorsed me and his whole family. Yeah. Oh, man. But yeah, it's just crazy how they continue to take these clips out of context. But guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.